Dawn here from Bit by Bit Bodyworks, and what I've got for you today is a classic asana, which is child's pose, and just some things to think about when you're practicing. As we're heading into summer, and for most of us in North America, then that means increased temperatures. So with the increase of just seasonal temperatures, our practice needs to bring in some cooling elements, and so child's pose is a great pose to bring in that coolness, and also the chance to rest, because if you're like me in the summer, I do more physically. My days are just longer and more chock full with kids being off school. So a couple of things to think about. So in child's pose, typically I'll start on hands and knees, and then sometimes it's offered up with the big toe mounds coming together and opening up the knees a little wider, and other times that isn't cued. For me, I'm not too concerned about where the knees are placed and where the toes are placed. What I want to talk to you about today is I really want you to watch my hip. And I want you to watch right where my femur bone is, right here, as well as the area of my sacrum as I move into child's pose here, okay? So whatever variation you find more comfortable, with the knees wide and the big toe mounds together, or with them separated. And then what you're going to do is you typically then will bring the hips back. Okay, so watch this area. Okay, so for some folks, what they really love about this pose is the sensation of feeling a stretch in their back, which isn't a bad thing, but if your intention is to get better movement of the leg bone and the pelvis and better hip function, then what I offer you to think about is watch this child's pose where we're feeling the sensation of the stretch through the back, which isn't a bad thing, but you can see I moved to a point here, and then most of my movement happened through here. Okay, so I'll just do it again and see what you see. So watch this area, my tailbone, and watch how much movement is here versus how much movement starts to happen here. Okay, and often however we're moving, the hips are moving in child, will be echoed in our down dog. Okay, so what I want to offer you up this month is another way to think about it. So rather than going for the stretch of the low back, I want us to focus on getting better movement of the leg bone and the pelvis. So watch this part of my leg, right here where the femur, the greater trochanter is. Okay, and watch there, and also watch here this time. And so I'm only going to go as far back as I can go, where I'm moving the leg in the pelvis, and I am not then dropping the tail. Okay? And so depending on my hip function and suppleness, I might just be going back and forward here. Okay, I might be going back and then staying here. So I'm starting to play with where's my range, how far back can I go, that it's leg bone moving in the pelvis. And then to bring the rest piece in, I might offer up some props here, walking the hands forward to bring the chest down, and then I'm supported in that child's pose. My spine is staying in neutral. So it's in the same position it was when I was in tabletop, and I've moved at the shoulder and the hip joint now. then over time, you'll get more movement at the shoulder and the hip because you're actually practicing in a way that's cultivating more movement of the shoulder and the hip, and not just feeling a stretch through the muscles of the spine. So something to think about, something to play with in your practice. When I first started playing with this, I needed a mirror because I couldn't feel when the pelvis started moving. So having a mirror beside me helped to start to connect the felt sense with what was happening movement-wise. So you may want to practice next to a mirror. And again, it's not bad to feel the stretch in the low back. It's just all about what you want to cultivate. So if you're noticing that the hips kind of feel tight all the time and the back is feeling tight all the time and that's not sort of resolving, try practicing it just moving the legs and the pelvis for a while and see if the back starts to feel less tight. Okay? If this has sparked any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. You can email me at dawn@bitbybitbodyworks.com, and I've got other movement bits on my website as well, bitbybitbodyworks.com, and yeah, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much, and please know that with awareness and ease, change is always possible and life-changing. Namaste.